So it's been cool that the last 2 years, 3 years, I guess now I'm going into with Flowtaku. Yeah, I just been totally content with my discography from then on. Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
So then getting into Flowtaku 2, it's called Space Cowboy.
That was fun. Yeah.
Now, what's the importance of space and outer space
Yeah.
and the universe to your music?
Really, it's based on the anime Cowboy Bebop, which is it's one of my favorite animes and inspired me. It's actually like one of the first ones I watched that got me into anime. And it's very like, it's set in outer space. It's almost future retro. Like everything was frozen in the 90s, but it's still in the future because everyone lives in Mars and shit. And you know what I mean? They travel to Venus and shit like that, and they trade. But that anime and its world really, really inspired me that I decided to theme my work around it for this one album, because my goal was actually to make an album that was almost had pop sensibilities, because people know me for the hardcore shit, the bars. Let's do gun bars, let's do fuck you up bars, then we do like trap emo, let's do screamo, let's headbang on stage. But man, like there's part of me like at that time I was taking dance, I was taking house dancing, I was taking singing lessons. I've been doing singing lessons in jazz when I was a kid. There's this jazz part of me that like really, really wants to come out as well. There's this Michael Bublé and Frank Sinatra in me that really wanted to come out as well. And that's the thing about me as an artist, I guess, is I was never really growing up fixated into one genre. I was exposed to so many genres. I never hung out with one type of group. When I was in high school, I feel like I'm a loner because I didn't have a close group. I was part of the skater kids who listened to punk rock. I was part of the basketball kids who listened to hip hop. I was part of the poser, I wouldn't say poser, the preppy kids that listen to just whatever the top 40 is and shit like that. I was part of the ravers. I went to the electronic raves. I was part of everything. I was a goth as well, you know what I mean? But because of that, I didn't have a close knit of friends, you know what I mean? So I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what my identity was because I was part of that. But I think that Flowtaku 2, going into that, I got my goth side out on Flowtaku 1. On Flowtaku 2, it's like kind of like my jazzy, like I want to have pop sensibilities. I want to have big hooks. I want to have like singing features. I want this Gold Link, Mac Miller, Anderson .Paak vibe, because I listened to a lot of those music, but I never like experimented to get it out. In Space Cowboy, I decided
I can see that now.
You see the vibe on that?
Yes.
That was my influence between 2017, 2018 is like music festivals. So when I created Space Cowboy, I wanted to break the image of my hardcore rap kind of like horrorcore image, and I wanted to surprise everyone by doing something that they didn't think that Twizzie Ramos would do. And I would make kind of more friendlier, but still experimental, still creative.
Definitely experimental.
You know what I mean? I was still taking risks. Like it wasn't like just dumb pop. You know what I mean? It wasn't like just like, everything you'll hear on the radio. But I wanted to hit the festivals. I wanted to cater to all ages. I wanted to cater to dancers. I wanted to play festivals. And I was really happy because that's exactly what happened. I aimed for that, and I played music festivals. I played electronic festivals. And this is a fun fact. My percentage, I pay attention to this. I always pay attention to the ages and
the genders.
And
your women went up.
The women went up like 39%. Back then, my female fan percentage is 3%, maybe 5%. Like in those, because I was hardcore rap, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like girls want like big hooks and shit. They want something that they can like groove to, right? So at the time, like, there's female, that wants like, there's girls that also want like the hardcore rap, like real bar shit. But mostly that's the guys.
Exactly.
Right. That's the guys looking for that, right?
Right.
But like, I think it's Tupac that would always said too. Like Tupac is you gotta get the ladies in it to get the guys in, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like I also wanted that because like I didn't have female fans, man, and it's like cool that after I made Space Cowboy, I didn't necessarily think about it to make it for the girls like I did songs about like her in 2012, but it just worked out. So like it's really cool because like I love my female fans, man. Like I love all my lady fans because they're so supportive. A lot of my male fans back in the days, they're supporting because they want something in return. So, you know what I mean? They're pretending to support, but really they want you to do a track for them for free, or if you say no, they're gonna bash you. So, you know what I mean? So, I do get that feeling with like some male fans. They fuck with your music and shit like that. Next thing they'll ask you for a favor, and if you don't do it, they start talking shit behind your back or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm not just saying like that That's everywhere. That goes everywhere.
I think that's just kind of how guys work. Guys expect something in return.
Yeah.
Someone told me, like, guys work for you because they want your spot.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
they
Like,
kind of like they feed off your energy a little bit and they jump on it, and then you realize they're just trying to take your spot or get something out of you at the same time. So I also I'm not saying I don't appreciate the support from like all my male fans, because there's many of you there and I love them all, but I've had that experience where it's like fake support, man. Then I realize that they haven't listened to a fucking track I made. They're just out there liking and dropping fire emojis on my shit because they're trying to ask me for a favor, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know how filtered you want this interview to be, but this is actually me.
Out there.
So you know what I mean? I'm pretty fucking unfiltered when it comes to these things. So when I did Flowtaku 1 and 2 into Space Cowboy, God, there's no toxicity of that anymore. You know what I mean? I don't get that anymore. Now it's like
It's a different energy. It's a
different energy. They actually want to support. They legit love my music and they legit want to support. And I support them back, you know, and whatever they're doing, I ask them how their life is. I'm very I always communicate with my fans because it's fun now. Like, now that I'm like fully myself, we don't just talk about hip hop, man. We talk about metal music. We talk about what anime we're watching. Talk about what games we're playing. So my fan base is amazing, man, because my fan base are all my friends because they're all me. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like the group that I never had growing up. The group that I was confused. Now that's like...
Now you've created it.
I basically created it just by being me and putting that in my music and brand. And like, why would I want to destroy that by all of a sudden jumping into something like, you know, like something that I don't really want to do? You know what I mean? For a small clout, a small amount of views, for a small payment, you know, why do it? It's really my mindset right now. If it's not gonna help my brand in the long run, you know what I mean? So if it's just for a small publicity. But yeah, that's basically what happened. So Space Cowboy was really fun because of that, and I love your review. Thank you on that.
Appreciate it.
I thought that's a really well written review, man. You really you dug deep in it. You had some questions, and I actually those were really good questions because it was a confusing theme. I definitely felt that it was a confusing theme for people coming into it.
Yes.
But
and that's something I want to touch on later.
Yeah.
That's a question I will ask.
Yeah, for sure.
But before that, I want to play a song.
Oh fuck yeah. Okay.
I want to play a song. We won't be able to play this over the video just because of copyright and all that.
All right.
But we'll be able to play it in the whip. So I want to play a song, easily my favorite song off the new project.
Okay.
And let's get into it.
I'm so interested.
Okay. Yeah. Yo, test it out there. Yo, come on. They asked me in this beat to test the water. I'm a son, you. Look, I'm your father. Shit. I'm bringing the bars. I know I'm on some nerdy shit, like some Star Wars lightsaber. You know I'm a lifesaver. Ain't talking candy, I'm talking brandy. That's up in my hood and my cupboard. Yeah, you know that I'm a look in the duckboard. That's a made up word, but I can make it work. Cause I put one on here and I just make it work. And I am so absurd, my mind's a little twisted. Right now I'm so clean, I'm not even lifted. But I be spitting rhymes like I was. Yeah, you know I'm traveling on the bus. But Esteban went to pick me up. But I'ma holler at the girl, try to pick me up, lift me up like I was a fucking forklift. Yeah, you know that I am so horny. No, not really, not right now. So I'ma pass it to him, so I'll put the mic down.
So, what were you trying to convey on that track?
So that track is, I read this book by Corey Taylor called The 7 Deadly Sins. And it inspired me, and I just kept writing and writing. And it was at the time where I was kind of on my hiatus. I didn't talk to anyone really, I didn't really write for the next 5 months. But I was about the 7 Deadly Sins basically, and how it relates to the world today, and how I feel like, you know, if it's not modernized, we are all destined to go to hell, really. And that's why I talk about sloth, vanity. I talk about lust and everything throughout the whole song. That's why it's called Hell House for Hire. It's also an episode in an anime where the main characters, the anime is called Samurai Champloo, by the way. Just like with Space Cowboys, we tie in a lot of the themes with the anime.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I don't watch a lot of anime.
Even if you don't, it's that's the whole point of Flowtaku, is it's supposed to be for, you know, hip hop listeners. It's supposed to be for music listeners. The anime is just a bonus. You know what I mean?
And like if you fuck with it, then you'll catch
even more references. You'll double the references. But if you don't know the anime, it's still about life. Like this song is still about the 7 deadly sins. But if you like watch the anime, you'll notice certain things like the titles, the hooks, the samples that are being used, to why it's connected to that. Because I'm using certain things that happen in the plot line of the anime. So that Hellhounds for Hire. There was one episode where they started talking about their sins and how they're all going to hell and stuff like that, and that kind of inspired me to write the song within the book that I'm reading to this. And it was cool because we're talking about like the whole breaking away thing, because I go to that line where I say they love me for the rage, so how am I to change? They love me for the rage, that's what I said for days, we're not on the page. Because we're saying that I've turned that chapter of battling off my life, but people want that rage out of me. They just want me to be angry and just talk about like hurting people and shit like that, and dissing people. So it's like I got to this point where it's like it's hard for me to be an inventive artist sometimes, where it's like when people just want to bring your past back and how you used to be, and when are we gonna get this back? You know what I mean? When you've moved on. So that's part of the lyrics on that. So it's just like rapping is a way. What was the lyric? It's like, so I discovered rap as a way to let out my wrath or whatever, right? So but in a form of art, yeah, because wrath is a big part of me. It's like anger, rage, and stuff like that, and I use my battling phase to get that out and stuff. And while I still do that with music, it's like I'd rather use it in another way with music, right? So so that's definitely part of like my first verse, at least on that. And it's funny how we just talked about that. Yeah, so that connects with that. It all ties in together. It's all related, dog. I love when shit ties in like that, man, especially with conversations and stuff. So it's really cool that you picked that track as your favorite ones. So how did you make that feature with Half Cut happen? How did that come about? Honestly, like we've been trying to collaborate with each other for the longest time, man. Like he always give me props with my work, man, since like 2013 and shit like that. He's my favorite rapper since I like. Fun fact, we were at the very first 10 of 10 volume 1. Wow. I was at the very first one. That was like my second show ever. And I was nervous as shit. I was new. I was green. Halfcut was a veteran. He slayed his set. And just from then on, I looked up to him. And I'm like, him and Benny J, I'm like, that's the kind of MC I gotta be. You know what I mean? That's the level I gotta be. I'm gonna do it my own way, but that's the level I gotta be. So I just like kept up with him. I always fucked with all his projects. And we've been talking about collaborating. We actually talked about collaborating. I was gonna get him on Flowtaku too. It didn't happen. And then the timing just kind of worked out for Flowtaku 3. And then I showed him what the theme is for Flowtaku 3. I showed him like some of the beats that I was working with, and he was down with it. So we made it happen, man, in like a couple months. So it was cool. It's fun to have him on the track. And he's doing things out there, man. He just released a new video as well. So definitely like skillful motherfucker, man. Yes. Yeah. Shouts out to Halfcut. Yeah, shout out to Halfcut. But also, man, like everyone I worked with on Sunflower Samurai is like some of my favorite artists. There was no this is my second choice on this album. Everyone that was my first choice on my head, like you're gonna sound the best on this, I got them. So it was like it was just like I don't know, it just came about, and it was really, really good. It was a fun creation, you know, the way that it came about. It was just, yeah, man, super fortunate at how it all came about. Another feature I wanted to ask about was Rome that you had on the Lullabies of the Lost. Yeah. Is he singing that part at the end? He is. He's singing the melody. He's singing the interlude. I didn't, because he wasn't in the credits. No, because he's not really like, he wasn't meant to be a feature. Like that song was supposed to be all me. It's just we decided like he's my neighbor actually. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, it's like a 5-minute walk from me, man. Oh shit. Yeah, dude, we're just like 5 minutes away from each other walk, and like I was trying to do that song myself one day, and I was doing that second part. I just did like, I can't find nobody with your groove, but I just couldn't get the melody right. And I asked Rome to just like kind of help me out with it, and I invited him over, and he's just like, yo, I'll just do the part, and I'll just do the interlude and stuff, and he sounded good on it. And I'm just like, yo, let's keep it. So he's supposed to be kind of like a hidden guest vocalist. He's a pretty well-known artist in Calgary too, like but I wanted to be like the surprise. Just like when I saw him, I was like, oh, yeah, you fuck with I don't want people to know it's featuring Rome kind of thing. And we agreed on that. We're just like, yo, we just won't tell anyone that you're actually in the song till they see you on the video. You know what I mean?
No, and
we won't even advertise it.
And it worked out perfectly.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, you fuck with Rome.
Yeah.
That's so dope.
Yeah, dude, thank you. That's how we just wanted to do it, and he was agreeable to it. And it's funny, we played that song live last week for the first time, and no one knew he was at the venue. He was kind of hiding at the back. And then when that part comes on, it's like, you, when I'm with you, he starts creeping in and he walks on stage and he starts singing, and everyone just cheers and loses it. Cause like I think that's what we're trying to go for that. Cause like that second part, man, it's hilarious. It's almost like a troll. Like I'm almost trolling like my own followers. It's just letting them know like this is Twizzie Ramos. I went from Flowtaku 1 doing death trap to Motown R&B vibe with Flowtaku 2. Never expect anything. Like I'm about to like, you know, I'm gonna surprise myself as much as I'm gonna surprise you. So Lullabies of the Lost Part 1 and 2 was kind of like trying to do that in one song.
And to give you some feedback on like this new project, I think you reached the balance of doing both.
Yeah,
doing both. I think with this one, this would be so far out of your project. This would be your damn. Like if I had to I hate to compare it. To like an artist that I know, but like if it was, let's say, you know, like Kendrick Lamar's like projects, you know what I mean? Yeah, the Good Kid, Mad City. I'd say that'd be Rebirth. The Damn?
Okay.
I say To Pimp a Butterfly would be your like Flowtaku 2.
Oh, okay.
And then Damn would be like
everything together.
Yes, would be this project.
Section 80 and Butterfly. Yeah.
Because I think this project has a good balance of the of the jazzy sounds as well as the hard trap shit that you went on the first Rebirth.
Exactly. Word. I'm glad that you noticed that. I'm glad that people are noticing that, because that was definitely like the goal, is to mix the best parts of Flowtaku 1 and 2 and try to create its own entity as well on 3. So I was calling it for a while after I finished Flowtaku 2, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do a third one, because I really felt like after Flowtaku 2, while I got that you know, kind of the more like vibey, accessible sound, I did get some hate of people missing like the real bars. Like of like people missing like the heavy shit.
And especially, I would say I was one of those guys, because the way you structure your words, and you're very complex. You're very complex.
Yeah.
The way that I'd say like a Lupe is very complex.
Lupe is my favorite artist. Lupe is one of my favorite artists. So like probably my favorite rapper. Like at least top 3. So that compliment is really good, because I do borrow a lot of his techniques, especially with like big word plays. Like my thing is to say 400 things in 4 sentences. You know what I mean? It's like try to say as many as I can in the 4-bar scheme. You know what I mean? So Lupe is a big thing for that.
And the thing is, sometimes it goes over my head, so I don't catch everything that you spit.
Yeah.
But I'll catch like every, let's say out of like 4 bars, I'll catch like 2 or 3.
That's good, man. Fuck, man. You're a listener if you're catching that much. Like on
but this is after like multiple listens, though.
Yeah.
Like I need multiple listens with your music. It's like I have to go back and back and back to it.
Word. Because I don't even expect everyone to catch all of it, because some of it is like inside jokes to me and my friends that only like the real ones will really get. You know what I mean? Some is like you gotta know me for a while to get that line and shit. And then there's also like, but that's cool, because like Space Cowboy still had like a lot of those, like, you know what I mean? As accessible as I try to make it, I still was really just fucking with it metaphorically as well. Like Jupiter Jazz is one example. People didn't get what that song is about. They think it's like a love song, jazzy or whatever. That song's about suicide, dog.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
I didn't catch that. Club 27. You know what Club 27
The best time
means?
to live and die and go to heaven.
Yeah, Club 27 is like the famous people die at 27. Amy Winehouse, Nirvana, you know what I mean? Like the biggest artists die at 27, and they call it the Club 27. And that also reflects to the main character in Cowboy Bebop, who dies at 27 years old. Plotline story. He dies at the end of the anime, but he's 27 years old. So it's basically like you live your highest around that time, and you almost get to the point where you're dreaming awake, and you try to look for the big parts of life, and you just almost put yourself out there till you don't really feel living until there's a risk of dying. So that's what Club 27 is about. And for the longest time, people are telling me it's a great love song, and I'm like, cool. And I just always accept it. I'm like, you know, I let people imagine what they want to imagine. I'm not gonna be like, you're wrong.
Art is subjective at the end of the day.
Exactly. So the listeners enjoy it. I'm not gonna tell them you're wrong about that and shit. shit like that. But I will, you know, talk about it once in a while, and I'd be like, that was actually the real intention behind it. So you know, jamming with Edward and shit like that, like, people definitely got different impressions from what I intended. So I don't know, maybe it's just based on execution as well, but I really enjoyed doing that, digging like different concepts and then people kind of taking it different ways. And I would say Flowtaku 3 will be lyrically the heaviest out of all those.
Would you?
I would say Flowtaku 3. Yeah, you don't think so?
I think Flowtaku 2 is a little more heavily lyrical.
Oh, really? Eh?
Yes. I think so, just from my listen.
That's cool. So Flowtaku 3 was a little bit easier for you to digest, I'm guessing.
Flowtaku 3 was easier for me to digest
okay.
than Flowtaku 2.
Oh,
although I like, let me say this, the sounds, I don't, see, that's hard because it depends on the mood I'm in as well, right?
Yeah, of course.
It definitely depends on the mood I'm in.
They're made for different times, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I released 3 in the spring, specifically for the spring. The Cowboy, Space Cowboy went in the summer specifically for music festivals and around that time, and then the other one in the winter specifically for being isolated and being alone and being just in the dark mood, right? So yeah, I really feel that. So Sunflower Samurai definitely, depending on the mood. Yeah.
Now I want to ask, how important is creative control in your music?
100%.
How important is that for you?